Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Taco Imposters for Monday, September 11th, 2023. Yeah, it's what's it called? Remember cuz I remember saying nope. I mean, it's remembering something. It's what's it called? September 11th, 9/11, but nothing much about that. I don't really have much to say about that. I mean, not that I'm going to say it's a fine regular day, but yeah, okay. It was a sad, tragic day, but what am I supposed to say about it, right? I'm a Canadian also, so what am I supposed to say about it? But yeah, I know someone whose birthday is today, so it's I care about her birthday more than I care about. Not that I don't care about it. Don't try and get me wrong here. I'm just saying, I actually went to Ground Zero in 2012 for vacation one time. Yeah, I went in New York. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I don't know. Interesting. Took one of those tours. So. See if I can slap this right here. There you go. And yeah, so what was I going to say? Yeah, so I had one topic to talk about today that I heard on the WAN show today. That was so Disney decides to stop producing DVDs and Blu-rays, or just Blu-rays. They've already done DVDs, I don't know, but discs, physical media, in Australia and New Zealand. And apparently they stopped it in certain Asian countries already. Something like Taiwan, Cambodia, Philippines, somewhere like that. And I was just that sounds terrible, but also I don't know, right? Because Linus is making the whole point of he asked Luke, he's piracy, right? You think that's going to ramp up? Because, now the best quality things aren't going to be, there isn't going to be the best quality thing. It's only going to be whatever they want the quality to be. It's it's not quality. Linus, you're getting this all wrong. Nobody cares about quality, because what nobody cares about quality, because nobody actually looks at the thing and says, oh, well, I need the best quality ever. They'd buy, gosh dang, my headphones came off. They'd buy freaking, what's it called? Netflix, the highest tier. That'd be the most paid for tier. They'd buy, they'd look at it, they'd want it. Every Disney movie will be pirated at the highest quality right now, because Disney Plus just is one of those places that doesn't like crazy good, or doesn't like the highest quality possible. It's weird, but yeah. So, don't give me that Linus. That's not the reason. It's the fact. It's the availability. It's the fact that, okay, go to the beginning of Disney, okay? You've got all the original Disney movies. You've got your Pinocchios and your Snow Whites and all them, right? Pinocchio, Snow Whites, Bambis, and such, right? Then you get into the compilation movies. So you have Fantasia, Melody Time, Fun and Fancy Free, Three Caballeros, and Saludos Amigos. Are those the five that everyone remembers? There's one other one. There's Make My Music. That is just not, and I repeat, not a thing. It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing on Disney Plus. So what did I go and do? You can figure out what I did. So, I had to, because there was no other way to do it. There was no other, I pirated it just to see. I've never seen it. It's not good. Or at least it's not as good as Melody Time. I don't know. I think Melody Time was just because I liked the two things in Melody Time that were actually good, which was Johnny Appleseed and Piglet's Bill. And Make My Music doesn't really have that. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so, I mean, why? What's the one of the compilation movies, of the 5 or 6 compilation movies, that just isn't on Disney Plus? I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. To me, it's just bizarre. It's just very bizarre. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. Disney can do whatever the heck it pleases. But its whole annexation of, $1.3 billion worth of content that just doesn't exist, or something called, The Crater or something, with, a moon movie that just doesn't exist anymore on legal internet. So it's they wiped it off the legal internet. It's what? It exists. It just doesn't exist on the legal internet. So it's what? Okay. I mean, Disney can do whatever it wants. I'm just saying, Willow's reboot thing doesn't exist anymore, really. And this and that. It's just really bizarre. It's just really weird. Now, I'm not saying it's bad, per se. I'm just saying, okay. At least not the DVD thing. The DVD thing's just okay, sure. We're going to get to a point where there's no DVDs anyway, so. And because of that, we'll have to accept that. We're just going to have to accept it. We're just going to have to accept it. And because of that, you either Disney Plus or nothing, kind of thing, or pirate. And it's piracy based on, what's it called? Based on Piracy based on availability, not on quality. Come on, Linus. Know the actual people that pirate. 90% of them. I mean, it's probably way. Actually, maybe not 90%, but like, it's way more than you think. Pirate because of availability, not because of quality. It may be 50%, like a 50-50 thing. Like, I'm sure he pirates because of quality, but like, I pirate because of like. And I'm with Linus. Look, okay. Yes, I do acknowledge that piracy is like just downloading a movie, even if you have it, is technically illegal. But I don't care because if they've got the money, it's the same thing as I say with like video game guys, where it's like, or music. How much? Like, if I've given them money already once, or I've given, or I know that the only way to get this movie is if I buy some DVD or VHS on eBay or something, or find it in like a thrift store. They're not getting money, so why would I? There's no way of giving them money anyway. So it's like, oh, I legally own that DVD. Yeah, sure, but like, what does that mean? For Disney, nothing. Anyway, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm not condoning it. But I'm also not condemning it because it's like, yeah, well, if the only way to get it is that it's the same thing that Ian Ferguson and Pat Contra talk about on the CU podcast. They talk about the whole thing of, if you weren't going to buy it anyway, you're not losing a customer that you could have had. He was never going to buy it in the first place. Also, oh yeah, I've got to go to the game store and buy it legally. Why? Because you're giving it to Nintendo? You're giving their money to Disney? No, you're not. You're not getting anything. So, which is kind of weird to think about. Because you're like, there's no good legal way. No. And then, because Linus asks Luke, oh, would you go back to pirating? And he's like, well, I'd find a legal way to get anything. Yeah, but if you can't, if you just physically can't, it's like, well, maybe, I don't know. Like, that's the weird, like, I don't know. It's bizarre. Would I pirate more movies? I don't really care. All the movies I've wanted to see are basically on Disney Plus. And with like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, it's things like, oh, I want to experience. I've never watched Make Mine Music, and I want to see the like why it's so bad, the Song of the South. But 99% of the rest of the movies, I don't really care. Also, TV shows and whatever, they kind of said that the last physical releases for things would be like Mandalorian, WandaVision, and is it Loki? I think so. Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't really affect me at all. I don't buy DVDs, really. I have no idea when the last time I bought a DVD was. It may have been the Batman vs. Scooby-Doo movie I bought once. Not versus, like, meets Scooby-Doo or whatever. Scooby-Doo meets Batman or something? Yeah. It might have been that, honestly. Like, in a store where I, like, where there was a DVD rack and I bought it. I'm not saying I don't buy them. I'm just saying, like, from a store. Now, not from a store. It was the Beatles' Yellow Submarine animated movie, which I have not seen yet. I've not seen the full thing yet. And look, okay. Again, I bought that on eBay, wanting a physical copy because I wanted it on my iPod, and I got it on my iPod, and it's great. Like, it's one of those. But then again, I did not give the Beatles estate a dime. I gave some random guy for like $14 a dime. $14. I gave him money. So that's the thing. It's like, well, what? It's really dumb, in my opinion. This whole piracy thing is really stupid, too. It's like, yeah, iTunes comes around, Spotify comes around, no more music piracy. Steam comes around, no more video game piracy. But this is, like, ridiculous. It's when they just decide, nah, these things don't exist anymore. They just, nah. On our catalog, nah, gone. It's like, what? Why? Or we're never, I repeat, never going to add that one movie that you want to see onto this thing. There's like a whole website of like, and it's updated fairly regularly, fairly frequently. It's like, all the things not on Disney Plus. It's like, God, it's so weird. They'll have things like Howard the Duck, not Howard the Duck, $1 Million Duck or something. No, the Duck. Anyway, they'll have the weird movies, okay, but they won't have like Make Mine Music. Why? Why? I just don't get it. Fun and Fancy Free. They have all the other ones. They have 2000, Fun and Fancy Free, Melody Time, Make Solos Amigos. and three caballeros, but they won't have flamenco enemies. I don't get it. That's the one that still baffles me. And like, why is that stupid? I don't blame the place for not having, a good. I don't blame people for pirating. I don't blame people for pirating. I don't. I really don't. Now, I still don't condone it, per se. I wouldn't want to have to. But it's like piracy for video games. It's like, well, and the biggest one that everyone always talked about was always things like Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Sunshine, right? Or Mario Sunshine, whatever it is. And they're like, there's no way other than the game, which is 60, 70, 80 bucks, whatever it is, other than the disc, there's no other good way to play the game. And people were just baffled and never brought up anywhere else, never put anything. And then they made Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and then, solved that problem, and it's still around here for still. I think you can still buy them in certain stores. They said it was only going to be around for a while, and then they just. But that's the thing. They didn't anticipate, but they just kind of like made a lot of them, and they're like, oh, we all gone, so get it when you can, while you can, and then it was just like everybody and their mother just got one, and then they were just still too many. There were just still too many of them, which I mean. Better to have too many than to be NES Classic where not enough and I wish it was more and I want one and it was hard to get, whatever. Or the Switch at the beginning, so. But yeah, so stuff like that. That's the biggest one. And then the biggest other one is, to me, it's like Atari, where I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, give Atari money for buying an Atari game at this day and age. So what's the point? Just download every one of them. Nintendo technically can still get me for, like, downloading those ones, but, yeah, but, look, I don't care. I really don't care. In my opinion, it's like, look, if I can't give these people direct money, why do I even bother? Why would I buy a game? Unless there's some reason I need a game, or I want a game, there's no point. Anyway. Yeah, like, so Disney's a weird company that way. Yeah, it's strange. It's kind of sad, but, like, oh, South America, that's what it was. It was like somewhere in Asia, and then South America stopped producing DVDs, yeah, already. And then they're the third. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing to think about. You're like, what? But then I thought, like, I was sitting here before I started this, and I went, yeah, but they've always done that, like, the Vault thing, Disney Vault thing, where, oh, you gotta wait some time to get it again, and oh, yeah, they could do all that. They can do all that, and they could say, like, here's the Vault collection, and for, another $3 a month, $5 a month, you can open the Vault for a limited time. like, I can definitely see that. I could 100% see that. See Disney just being whack like that, and just being like, oh yeah, the Vault's been opened. Our Vault's been opened, and here you go. Here's a bunch of games, bunch of movies to watch for limited time, and then the Vault will close on this date. Vault opens this date, the Vault closes this date, bam, damn, get in while you can. I could see that, 100%. For all these, like, movies. So that they, like, because they exist. It's just that they just don't want to, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's a thing that happened, like, they could do. And people would pay for it, that's the thing. People paid for all those, like, theatrical, in quotes, theatrical releases that weren't in theaters. That came to Disney Plus, directly to Disney Plus, so. Yeah. So, I'm not saying that's the greatest solution, but it's a solution for Disney to be like, hey, you people, oh, to shut some people up, Just be like, just shut them up. Shut them up and be like, You don't like it? Well, screw you. Here you go. Here's your solution. Here's a solution to it. And it's like, what? Why am I, what? I don't, okay. Not that I'm saying that would solve all the problems, but yeah, be a way for Disney to shut everybody up and be like, hey, we gave you what you wanted, you bums. It's like, well, yeah, okay, sure. Not very well, but sure. And then stop. And then the next group of them, and the next group of them, and the next group of them, and the next group of them. Oh, anyway. The random movies that are leaving, and then... Anyway, I don't know. It's just a way of doing it, so... Look, I have no problem. I'm just saying, like... I don't really care. Like, I realize, I'm like, I don't really care about this. I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about, but, like, I don't really give a hoot. It's a one of, okay, sure. Sure, fine, whatever. Yeah. It's whatever. It just kind of is what it is. It's whatever. Yeah. So. Disney's been the weirdest thing in the last, like, 10 years. Buying everything up, or 10, 12 years. Buying everything up, and then... I don't know, it's just dumb. But anyway. Yep. But like Alina said, too, though, that's not the first place I go to get entertainment either, so... Nah, movies and TV shows, no. Because with the whole writer strike thing, it's like, yeah, well, you're not going to get much, you're not going to get a lot, and you might get things that are less, like, out there, like them trying, you know, putting stuff out there and being, doing things that are, like, out there, like, oh, testing the waters, oh, doing weird things, you know, yeah, fair, sure, but, like, yeah. But the two of them have to come to a conclusion at some point, like, I think some of the studios were like, oh, I'll just, you know, I'll let them go bankrupt. I'll let people go bankrupt. I'll let people have no money. I'll let people starve. They'll come back to us. Like, yeah, but also, if there's nothing to produce, you're not making money. And yes, there are other ways of making money, sure. Streaming services, residual, for older things that you're playing still, whatever, selling merchandise, all that stuff. But, and eventually you have to produce a new movie. Eventually, the shareholders are going to look at, you know, Warner Bros. They're going to look at Sony Pictures. They're going to look at any of those Hollywood places and go, studios and go, okay, great. You're still technically making us money, but where's our, like, new stuff? Where's our new productions? Where are our new productions? You got anything? You got to give something. Come on, man. Come on. We can't sit here, you know, taking in what's already been made. Right? No. Can't. So you need to produce some new something. You know? Right? Yeah, shareholders come back. Because, like, the other thing they made the point about is, Linus on Wancho made the point about like Hollywood. The only thing that's like the worst thing that can come out of this Hollywood strike is Hollywood ceases to exist. Now, I don't think they'd cease to exist, but, you know, big places. Bollywood, South Korea, there's German, there's Italian, and then there's, like... What's the other place? Is it Africa? No, those are the terrible movies, right? Or is it South America? One of those two. Anyway, but I know there's Italy, South Korea, and Bollywood, you know, India. So it's like, those other places exist, you know. They could give you a run for your money, people, if you don't watch it. Because Bollywood's pretty great, from what I've heard. I don't know, I haven't seen much Bollywood. And then South Korea's coming out with some good stuff. And then, what's it called? Is definitely a, like, oh. Good. Good one, too. So it's like, I don't know, there's different ones where it's like, well, you better watch it, because they could give you one for your money. Like, definitely give you one for your money. Like, definitely be like, oh. Whoops. Like, I think that was a year that they, like, screwed up royally with a, what do you call that thing? A plagiarism, but it was, Cinemassacre, they did the, what's it called? Monster Madness, where they did, like, just everywhere other than in U.S. horror movies. You know? It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care. I just kind of, like, thought about it. I'm like, oh, yeah. There are other places other than the U.S. to make movies. Canada has a thriving one, but it's basically, you know, U.S. .0. Not even. It's like, you know, just basically just Hollywood. And then, what else? Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of these, like, different, other places that make movies. So it's like, well, we don't need Hollywood. That's the thing. The world may say, like, we don't need Hollywood per se. I'll be like, yeah, you might be right. You might be right. You might be right about that. You may be right. You may be right. Which is kind of, like, sad and scary and, like, well, but also, like, but then when you think about it, like, hard enough, you're like, why do I care? No, seriously, why do I care? Why would I care? Should I be scared? Like, no. Apparently, I heard a guy in my local video game store that, like, apparently is a writer. I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, no, because that's the thing. It's one of two things. It's like, oh, I would have heard about you. But it's like, well, no, actually, you probably wouldn't have heard about the person. He apparently sold things to not Disney, but he sold it to, like, Netflix and such. And I'm like, really? Come on. Did you, though? Well, yeah. And I've been to, Los Angeles, and yeah. It's like, come on, just get off your high horse, man. You've written scripts, and you tried to sell them to people, and maybe you sold one or two, but you're not, which is fine. To some people, that's all they want. And it's the whole residuals thing, too, that what people want. That's the thing. It's a lot of it's the residuals that are like, well, where's my residual for this thing that I get nothing for? So, yeah. If you want a good explanation of this, go watch these or listen to this completely unnecessary podcast. No, sorry, Not So Common podcast. The newest episode of the Not So Common with Pat Contree and it's like Alex. I don't remember his name, but they talk about this the fact that like because Alex is kind of in the industry, kind of, and then like or knows people at least, and it's like he knows how it kind of is working. It's like yeah, no, this is stupid. This is actually like dumb, and here's why. Because it is. But so yeah. I'm just saying, like, they're gonna have to pay for something eventually, pay people eventually, so it's like, anyway. And then, like, you gotta produce something new eventually, so. You can't just say, well, whatever, blah, 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 yada, yada, I don't really care about. No, it's like, stop. You gotta produce something sometime. You have to. I'm sorry, I don't care who you think you are. You have to. Because that's the thing. So. Anyway. And then Disney, with their stopping it, it's like weird, stopping producing DVDs. Because like, he made the point, how much does it cost to make a DVD? Like, pennies? You're not losing that much, but it's another one of those, but save this $10 million. And then the people, I hate it when they do this, but the companies that try and make it out to be like, oh, you're actually benefiting us because we're actually, like, saving money on, we can produce better stuff for you people. It's like, stop your crap. We're not stupid here. We know that it saves you literally, like, $0, basically. It's the same way, like, way Apple could still sell, like, what's that called? iPod Shuffle, and sell like one a year, and still be making profit off of it somehow. It's weird, but yeah, interesting. It's just kind of dumb, but okay. In that, like, okay, what are you gonna do, right? I'm definitely not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying, like, come on, don't give that crap. Oh, it actually, benefits us because we can actually produce better stuff for you people. It's like, no, you can't. Please stop. Please stop. Please just stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. We're not stupid here. Anyway. So yeah, what were they saying? Yeah, so. I don't know. It's weird, but okay. Yeah, so. Anyway. That's just my opinion on that. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. What am I supposed to do now? What are we supposed to do now about it? Nothing, really. Nothing we can do, really. To be honest. It's okay. Just kind of is. Whatever. I was watching a video by the Microwave Society last night, and it was just, who was it? What was it? It was just a review of Cars 2. No, it was a review of Cars. They did Cars 2, and then I watched another one that was, Lorax. But let's talk about Cars 2, because Cars 2 is a weird movie where it's like, it's not that bad. It's just, it's like 1 and 3 are like the same movie, and then 2 just has like nothing to do with each other. Because 1 is, I watched 3 not when it came out, but like around the same time it came out, and I was like, look, okay. 3 does a weird thing where it basically does 1 with Lightning McQueen instead of Doc Hudson. That's it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. When I heard somebody review like that, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Talk about it like that. And then 2 just has nothing to do with anything. And it's weird and it's dumb and it's kind of like, what? It is weirdly not the same thing as this. Anyway. It's just not... It's not a good movie, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's actually decent. I saw it in theaters, and I was just like, I saw it in theaters with my best friend, and I was just like, because his sister had seen it originally, and he was like, is it good? Is it great? Because he loved the first one. He loved the first one. I thought the first one was just decent, and he loved the first one. I was like, and I watched it, and I went, yeah, I don't hate Cars. But Cars is a franchise that kind of just gets thrown under the bus, as in, like, forgotten. Like, Disney just kind of goes, yeah. Pixar goes, yeah, whatever. Just fair. It's not a, like, super memorable series. Super great memorable series, but it's better than some other ones, but it's not great. That's the thing with that one. It's like, whatever. And then you get to the other movie that they were reviewing that I saw last night was Lorax. And the Lorax, okay, of the like, remake / live action Dr. Seuss movies, it's one of the better ones. It is probably the best, probably, to be honest. Because you have The Grinch, The Cat in the Hat. I don't think Cat in the Hat's actually that bad. I think it's actually a better movie than a lot of people make it out to be. Like, oh, it's so terrible. It's not that bad. If you don't like The Cat in the Hat, you should equally hate The Grinch as much. You should, because The Grinch is just as weird and wonky and runky and raunchy and weird. It is. It's just as bad. And if you're saying it in an aesthetic standpoint, like, oh, it looks bizarre, then you should have the same thought process to the Grinch, the live-action Grinch with Jim Carrey. Yeah, you should, definitely. And then there's Horton Hears a Who, the Lorax, and then there's the Grinch animated with Benedict Cumberbatch. And I saw Benedict Cumberbatch one in theaters. It was me, my dad, and 2 other people in the whole entire theater. And I was like, I watched it. I came out of that and went, why? Nothing of that movie was actually that great. Nothing. I don't have a redeeming quality of that movie, really. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like, oh, it's terrible. But it wasn't good. It was not good. I mean, I'm not saying it's terrible, but it was just not good. It's just not. It's just really not. No, not at all. And then them and their, like, hip-hop version of A Mean One. Stupid. And then stuff like that. It's just dumb. I mean, it's fine. But it's not good. It's going to be a way forgettable movie where everyone just goes, ugh, oh, that movie. Yeah, right. Because I think Lorax is the best of them. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that right now. Horton Hears a Who is not terrible. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's not terrible. So, and it's Illumination Studio, so, I mean, they do decent stuff. I mean, they did some decent stuff. Didn't Illumination Studios do something before, like, the Minions? I feel like they might have. Or am I thinking of Sony? Or am I thinking of Blue Skies? Lots of studios that don't exist anymore. Blue Skies got bought up by Disney, and then Disney put a, like, Ice Age stupid remake TV series, whatever it was. Oh, God, it was bad. Bad CGI. It looks like frickin'... It's that weird, like, 3D, like, terrible early 2000s looking 3D, like, oh, God, this is terrible. Anyway. So, yeah. Oh, I know what I made. I'm thinking of Illumination Studios. They made the Peanuts movie, didn't they? I think they did. I believe they did. That movie was actually decent. I actually like that movie a lot. It might not be Illumination Studios. Maybe somebody else. Maybe it might have been Blue Skies. No, I don't think so. Anyway, whoever made that movie. That was a good movie. I think that was a fine movie. I don't know. That's the thing with... Also, okay. I was watching somebody review... It was a lawyer reviewing... It was a... lawyer... No, I was going to say lockpicking lawyer. No. The lawyer... Just reviewing what legal actions anybody would have been charged with in Home Alone, and I realized there's so many. Okay, I said that, I'm sure I've said it before, either on podcast or on stream. I was like, look, one of the only reasons, or on a video somewhere, but one of the only reasons people hate so many movies and TV shows and video games is because it's connected to something else. If it wasn't connected to some other thing, as in like a franchise, it wasn't a franchise thing, it'd be fine. Like, I was thinking, because I listened to the episode of Joe Rogan when he interviewed, he had, what's his name on? He had Macaulay Culkin on, and I was like, one of the questions I would ask is, what do you think of Home Alone 3, 4, 5, and 6? Like, what do you think of them? Are they Like, are they abominations? Or do you just not give a hoot about them? Are they just kind of okay? Or are you just kind of like, they exist. I don't really care, but they exist. Yeah, sure. Because to me, the problem with the movie is, movies, or the subsequent movies, is they try and pull back the fourth one. Okay, the third one, not a terrible movie if you make it out to be just some random as, like, doesn't matter, it's just a random kids movie. It's great, it's fine. I don't care. I don't have a hoot. I don't care. I don't give a dang. I don't really care. It's whatever. It's the fact that they tried to pull it into the universe of Home Alone. Like, that's the problem. And then fourth, like, oh god, you're trying to bring Kevin and his and Buzz and Megan. It's like, oh god, no, please stop right now. It's dumb. And then 5 and 6 are just no. Sorry, get out of here. They're not Home Alone movies at all. And then 6 is like, you do not have Buzz from. Oh my god, why? It's just ridiculous. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. But anyway, so yeah, like if they took 3 and just was like, and kind of like made it off to be like a spin-off little thing, or just not even connected to it at all in any way, shape, or form. It's like the third Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie, where, that's right, the fourth Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie, where, yeah, if you connect it to the only reason it's terrible, it's like Spy Kids 4, or those two movies. The only reason they're terrible is because they're connected to this. You could have made it like Spy Kids, okay? You could have taken it in a Spy Next Door kind of movie, right? Where Spy Kids 4 could have been like a Spy Next Door kind of thing, where it's like, obviously it's ripping off something like that, right? Spy Kids. And seeing how popular it is, and it's pulling some like, you know, notable character, like, notable actor, like, what's his name? Jackie Chan, and being like, oh yeah. But if you just made it into some, like, if you made Spy Kids 4 into something like Spy Next Door, where it's like, oh yeah, it's just some random movie about spies, or about, like, whatever, ninjas, or whatever you want to call it, it was fine. It would have been fine. No, we had to put it into a Spy Kids movie. Home Alone, no. Diary of a Kid 4 is definitely that same kind of thing. It was like, oh, if you just made it into some, like, spin-off thing, the road trip version, the summer road trip version, where it's like a kind of spin-off thing, it's just whatever, yeah, it would have been fine. No, but it had to be the direct fourth one. So terrible. Not good. I saw the third one in theaters. I did not hate it. I like the third one a lot. I like all the first 3, and then the fourth is just It's the other weird thing. I don't understand. I think I made this observation once before. I think I'm like pretty sure that most, if not all, those kind of movies where they go from 3 to 4, because they don't become a franchise with like 7. It's always like 4. It's weird. It's always some kid later in life. Hey, Dad, you're a director. Make a new one of these. These are great. Kind of thing. Like, maybe not that way. Maybe not said that way, but definitely like that. Like, oh yeah. Maybe indirectly, like, oh yeah, I can make a new one. Kind of thing. Oh, my kids love this, so I can make a new one. Done. It is terrible. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So, cause like, I never understand when, like, you had 3 and they were doing fine and they were okay and they, like, lasted and existed in the same kind of, like, capacity. Like, oh yeah. And that's the thing. Diary of a Kid is very much like Spy Kids. First one, okay. Pretty good, but just kind of mediocre. 2 is like, wow, this is a jump from the first, and it's actually really good, and I really like it. Like, the second Spy Kids is amazing in comparison to the first. And the second Diary of a Kid is great. And then the third one goes, oh, you did the weird, like, oh. At least they didn't do it, like, 20 years later. Like, you could definitely tell, or not 20 years, but, you know, like, a significant amount of time later, because you can tell that, like, Greg is way too old for the third movie, or just about too old for the third movie, because he's still supposed to be in middle school. Anyway. You don't really get that exact same thing in Spy Kids 3, so it's okay. And then, where else? Yeah, and then 4 is just like, why? Why is it a thing? Just, no, stop. Alright, 3, sorry. And then, and then 3 is like, oh, this isn't great. This is of the times. 3 is like of the times, for both of those movies. For Diary of a Kid and for Spy Kids. And then for 4, it's like, okay, it's awful. Just, no. And so Home Alone had that thing where it's like, because you connected the third and fourth Because for the longest time, it was just there were 4 movies. I like the second one a lot. The first is okay. I also made the observation last night while I was watching that video. It's like, look, why? Just another one of those movies that happens to be set at Christmas time. Where's your big Christmas message? There's like one part where you see a Santa Claus, where you see like a teenager who's dressing up as Santa, like that, like for like a mall or whatever, right? And I'm just like, but I don't care. I really don't care. This isn't Christmas. This just happens to be set at Christmas time. You could have made the same exact movie in like a summer vacation version. Oh, they left him home alone for summer vacation. They went on a summer vacation and left Kevin home alone. It would have been the same kind of movie, and everyone goes off on summer vacation. I guess it's because the reason they couldn't do that is because it wasn't as like consistently everybody's going on vacation at the same time. So I guess that's why. Which you could argue you could have made one, but yeah, I know what you mean. I know what they mean. I know what they're trying to get at. It's like, oh, you can't do that. Yeah, fair enough. You could have done it at Thanksgiving or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the premise would have worked in a different time too. Just anyway, I'm not saying it's awful. I don't consider it like such a classic Christmas movie. Gotta watch it every. No, I'm like, comes on. What do I care? It's okay. And everybody's like, oh no, it's the best. Like, there are more Christmas movies than that. There are more Christmassy Christmas movies than that. Also, sorry, I want to say no, I'm not a fan of Elf. Just gonna put it out there, not a fan of Elf. But yeah, so like yeah, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it is what it is. Like, oh god. Now am I saying it's terrible? Of course not. But I'm just saying like I don't know. So yeah. It's so. And then the third one, I always liked the third one a lot. I thought it was funny. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was comical, charming, great movie or fine movie. It's just that they had to call it Home Alone 3. It had nothing to do with some Alex kid who had nothing to do with it. They should have done 1, 2, 4 as 3, and then spun off the whole thing and been like, oh yeah, and the Home Alone series is now like because the third one has nothing to do with Christmas. Nothing. The fourth one has Christmas in it. And the fifth and sixth have Christmas in it. But the third has nothing to do with... It's like Christmas. It has nothing to do with Christmas. It's exactly like Frosty the Snowman 2, Frosty Returns, has nothing to do with Christmas. Nothing. But they always show it at Christmas time. I'm like... I think it's even said... I think I looked up the Wikipedia like 10 years ago, and it was like, oh, this is supposed to be set in like February. It's supposed to be set in like February. What the heck? This is supposed to be set in like February. It's like... kind of like one of those, like, that makes sense. It's not. It's like winter solstice. Or no, it's not even. It's winter carnival. That's the thing. No, it's not even winter solstice. It's winter carnival. And so for me, I'm just like, I just liked it a lot. I love 2. I love it. I think it's great. I think Frosty Snowman 2. And then the subsequent Frosty Snowman that are 3D, don't like them. But I've seen the second one, and then like the 3D one, and I've seen like parts of the like sequel 3D one. Anyway, they're Anyway, what I'm saying is, yeah, it's like, oh god, it's just not good. Or no, it's not even that's bad. It's just that it's like not. It's just, I don't know. It's just nothing with Christmas. There's nothing to do with Christmas, but they pull it because Frosty the Snowman, and so he like was associated with Christmas, and no. And every single one was Christmas, but no. And the third Home Alone has nothing to do with Christmas, so. Well, I mean, yeah. And then of those Dr. Seuss, there's only one Dr. Seuss Christmas movie, but there's 3 of them. Like, why? All 3 of the same movie? Why? Ugh, I remember seeing it at the Super Bowl commercial. No, it was Olympics. Sorry. Was it Olympics? Yeah, it was Olympics. I was just like, okay, sure. Why are you making a new one? I don't really care. I'm definitely not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, if you like the second animated Grinch movie, good for you. I don't care. I'm just thinking it's not great. There are actually a lot of movies of Dr. Seuss movies that just nobody's seen, or Dr. Seuss specials. It's like Peanuts, right? Peanuts is one of those things that there was so much made for them. Wow, there was a time I think I read a book about the Peanuts, and it was like Peanuts. Yeah, I was reading a book about it. And it was Peanuts, like how we made Peanuts, and then just like yeah, and it was weird, and I didn't like. And you learn that like they don't care. Or sorry, that there were so many things made for Peanuts. So like Dr. Seuss and Peanuts were two things where it's like, oh, wow, there's like an incredible amount of of media out there for them. TV specials, TV shows, movies, books, merchandising. Yeah, so it's incredible. It kind of is. It's kind of insane. It's kind of actually incredible. It's insane. But like, yeah, I don't personally care for 90% of them, but it's like I watch the Halloween, I'll watch the Thanksgiving, I'll watch the Christmas, I'll watch maybe the Valentine's Day ones, or maybe something like that, or one of the weird other Christmas ones. Cause I have a It's Christmas Again, Charlie Brown or something. Also, just take Christmas for example. Just take the Christmas example. There's the Christmas special. It's Christmas Charlie Brown or whatever it's called, right? Then there's then there's like, oh, Linus is like little brother, and yeah, Linus apparently has a little brother. Lucy and Linus have a little brother, apparently. Wants a dog, and then there's like other ones, and it's Christmas Again, Charlie Brown. Christmas Again, Charlie Brown. That's weird. It's like, what? There's like 4 or 5, not even joking, 3 or 4 or 5 Christmas movie special things. What? Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. It's kind of weird. It's weird. I don't understand. And then there's like, but then no other holiday got more, so it's weird. But then it's like, I don't know. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so, anyway. But there's all these specials, like, Bon Voyage Charlie Brown, and Snoopy, I think there's like Snoopy Come Home or something, and then there's like, Charlie Brown Goes to Camp or something, or Peanuts Goes to Camp or something. It's a lot. And then with Dr. Seuss, it's like, there's like, Sneetches, and there's Sneetches, there's The Grinch That Got in the Hat, then there's All the Places We'll Go, and there's like, there's like, all the other merchandising stuff. Like, If I Ran the Zoo was like a tape I had one time. That's a video game about it. Oh, Kindergarten. Oh my god, it was incredible. How much? Just like, wow. There's a lot of stuff nobody even knows about. It's crazy. And then something like Calvin and Hobbes. There's just cartoons. There's just comics, and that's it. That's all. Nothing else. That's it. They never touched a single TV show, movie, video game, nothing. None of it. I mean, there's not that many Peanuts video games. There's like a couple here and there. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's like a really great one on the Xbox 360, which was Snoopy's Air Ride or something? Something like that. Snoopy's Air Ride or something. Ow, 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 my face. My face. So yeah, I have to go inside soon, because I'm outside. I didn't say that. If I didn't say at the beginning, I was outside. If you hear things in the background, I'm outside. But yeah, gotta go inside because it's getting really dark, and I'm getting like bit, But yeah, nothing. It's weird. Now, you want a good documentary about that? Go to 2BT about why, and like the whole thing about Bill Watterson. It's go to 2BTV and look up Dear Mr. Watterson. Man, that's a great documentary. I think it's one of the best. It just explains all of like why and what happened to him and what he explained, and everybody else's like encounters with him, like as in why they saw that he didn't want anything. It's crazy. Yeah, it's good. But yeah. And look, that's the only kind of comics I read. I don't read comic books like superhero stuff. I don't like comic books. Somebody said to me, and he was like kind of convincing me that there was great anime out there, manga out there, and I was like, oh, read these mangas, they're great. This manga's amazing. This manga's fantastic. Manga. And then he stopped at one moment and goes, yeah, but if you're not a comic book person, and I stopped him and go, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a comic book person. I've never liked comic books. I've only read so many comic books in my life. And he goes, well, then, you're not going to like manga. And I went, nope. That's exactly why I don't like manga. And he's like, well, there you go. They kind of had this attitude like, well, And he kind of was like, yeah, well, what you going to do, right? we should do it right now. I'll send them the 4 pictures. Yeah, okay. I'll look at which one they sent. Sorry, I'm just thinking of something else. Sorry. That has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. But yeah. So yeah, that's my, like, opinion on the matter. Or that's what I think of all this whole Disney thing. It's weird. And then, whew. Will it cause a lot more, piracy? I don't know. It's the kind of people who will just get to the next generation and go, oh, I didn't even know that existed. So, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, oh, boy, that'll be weird. There'll be, like, me, who knows all of it, and then some people who just know none of it. And like, you've never seen blah, 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 blah? What? Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. Or, what are you talking about? Anyway, I think it's going to be it for now, guys. So, in the description, there's the if you want to get in touch with me, there's the email, which is tacoimposters@gmail.com. That's tacoimposters@gmail.com. There's the 2 Discords. And then there, if you want to contribute to anything I make on the internet, that would be patreon.com/wing. W is capital, the rest is small, ing. Wong. The W is capital, the rest is small, ONG. I'm getting bit really bad, so I think that's going to be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos.